Flosstube. This is Jordan the Tattooed Stitcher. I'm back for another regular Flosstube update. I did post a video last week, but that one was just purely Stitch West. So I've got 2 weeks of what I've been stitching to show. I'm going to start with my FFO. I think that's my only FFO. And that is a Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. He is so cute. I love him. If you watched my Stitch West video, you will see that I showed the finish of him because this is what I stitched for the most part at Stitch West. I had this frame. It was in my Halloween decorations. It's been in my Halloween decorations for probably close to 10 years. But it was just something from TJ Maxx. It just had like, I don't know, Halloween things inside of it. And I never really liked it very much. Just wasn't my decor taste anymore. But I thought the frame was really pretty, and I knew as I was stitching Gordon that he would fit in it because it's kind of an odd size. It's not quite 8 by 9. It's like 7 2/3, and it is a weird size anyways. And so Gordon was also kind of a weird size, and I thought that I would just repurpose it, and my lovely husband tore apart the back of this. So everything was like pasted on this backer board thing. So he had to rip the backer board off, and the glass that was inside was glued. And so he had to use like a razor blade and cut all the glue out to get the glass out. And it took a bit of time. So I was very grateful for his help because I was scared I would cut myself. And amazingly, he did not cut himself. So what was kind of nice is now I have this backer board to cover the stitching, but there was no like prongs holding it in, so it is taped. But I thought it turned out perfectly for this project. Let's see. This is the Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom from Not Forgotten Farms. It does come as a PDF as well as a paper chart. I stitched him in some of the called for and some of the Lori Holt conversion. I've been asked where to find this conversion. She doesn't have it listed anywhere. You have to watch her video where she shows her finish of him, and she like flashes her conversion written on the screen, and you have to like screenshot it. So I could tell you what colors I used, but I don't have all the ones for her because I didn't use all of hers. And it's stitched on 36 count chai from Seraphim Fabrics. And he's out being displayed right now for the next couple of weeks because I like to put Christmas up the week of Thanksgiving. So he gets a couple weeks out, and he's really cute and I love him. So he'll sit back here. I did have another finish. It's not a fully finished, but it is a finish. And that is Blackbird Designs Moon Garden. I stitched this on the called for 36 count. Well, I don't know if the called for is a 36 count, but the color is 18th Century Rook from R&R, I want to say. And I did not stitch it with the called fors. I stitched it with some of the called fors, but I did replace one of the colors with a green that I had in my stash, and the purple was also from my stash. So the only called for I used was Buttermilk and Cameo Pink. It only calls for 4 colors. But I started this earlier this spring, I think. And I'm really happy to have it done. I don't think I did any special oh, I did highlight the J in a pink. And then I think there was a spot to put the year, but I didn't want to do it. So yeah, there's that one. I do need to get a piece of this 18th Century Rook for, there's a Blackbird Designs from the Souvenirs of Summer book that calls for it that I'd like to stitch. So those are my finishes. Okay, WIPs that I worked on. For a very, very, very brief stint, meaning like 30 minutes, maybe an hour, probably less, I stitched on the Artsy Housewife Coffee and Eggs. And the only stitching on this I did was the chicken's butt. We're not quite at his butt. It's like the very bottom of it. And I was stitching on it and I was just like, this is not what my heart wants right now. I tried to make it want it, didn't want to. So that only got a very brief interlude. And then another WIP I worked on is Plum Street Samplers, George Decorates for Martha. I'm stitching this on, oh, I didn't say what I was stitching the Artsy Housewife on. The Artsy Housewife is being stitched on 40 count Grandma Slip from X Jude Designs. And George and Martha is being stitched on a 36 count Shrekie's Tan from Needle Bling Designs, with all of the called for, except I did change the colors for the flags. So this is where George and Martha are at. I can't remember what it looked like the last time you saw it, but I know that I extended the border and I did all this house, and I think I might have had like a teeny bit of the house done, maybe this door. So I did all the rest of this house, and I did this pumpkin and the crow holding the flag. I have a mistake in the house already. There's supposed to be like a, what do you call, a dormer. There's supposed to be a dormer here in the roof, and I just started filling in and going and going and going and totally forgot about it. So the roof shall have no dormers. That's fine. I'm not unpicking all of that. It will still look great. Okay, and then I had a new start. Shock, right? I started I Love Fall Most of All from With Thy Needle. And I am stitching this on a piece of 36 count earthen with all of the called for. And this is how far I got in it. So the pumpkin, I don't know if you can see, but the pumpkin color is it's called for Gentle Arts Pumpkin Patch. I didn't bring it up here, but mine is extremely variegated. Very, very like starkly variegated. It goes super dark to super light really quickly. So I'm having a hard time. You see, if you can see right here, that is the delineation line of where the threads are ending. And it's so stark of a contrast to me. It's bothering me. I'm not sure exactly what to do. I like the color that it's more brownish than orange, but this is going to drive me insane. I'm going to have to pick that out because I just cannot. And if you look at the preview, like it's not that variegated. So I don't know if I just got a extremely variegated skein. I'm not sure what to do about it because I like this side. It's all like the darker ends of the thread. So it's a conundrum. I'm not sure what to do. Might have to pick all of the pumpkin out and then either order a new skein or just choose another color. What do you think? Drop your opinions below. Okay, and another WIP I worked on. Maybe I'll take this out of the hoop. Well, I don't have the finger strength to loosen that. Okay, another WIP I worked on is Plum Street Samplers. I forgot my iPad. Plum Street Sampler, Ghoultide Welcome. I'm stitching this on 36 count. It's the called for vintage sand dune from Lakeside Linens with the Vicky Clayton silk conversion instead of the NPIs. And what did I do on this? This is the side of the house. This plant here goes all the way over and kind of like climbs the side of the house. So I just wanted to reach the top of the house. Obviously I didn't get there, but I was filling in as like far edge of the house as I could get all the way up, because all this is going to be like plants filled in. I have a mistake here. I don't think it's far enough over, but we're okay. I'm not stressing out about it now. I don't know if you've seen, I did do this much of the border, and then I did all this fill in right here. I did the letters, and then I just, a couple of shows we were watching, I just pulled this out and filled in. So that's what I did on that one. And that one is probably going to go away for a little bit, because I can feel myself shifting out of Halloween and fall and looking to winter and Christmas. And then the last WIP I worked on is, I actually do have my bag here. This Joyous Season from Plum Street. I just really wanted to get a better start on this one, because I didn't get a very good start on it at Stitch West. This project was not my friend at Stitch West. I'm stitching this on 36 count vintage metal rue from Lakeside Linens with all of the called for. And this is where I am on it. I am loving working on this project. This red is so gorgeous. It is Weeks Dye Works Cayenne. It's probably one of my new favorite reds. So I got all the way to the top of the house. This is where the roof line is. I got these trees finished here, and this tree goes all the way up really high, and there's a moon right here. This is the edge of the door, so this is the middle of the house. So I have a lot more house and windows to do. The chart down here has like snowflakes and stuff in the snow. The snow called for color is Weeks Dye Works Arrowhead. I think Arrowhead. And then they want you to do the snowflakes and things in B5200, but it is just not a big enough contrast. Like, you can't even see the snowflakes through the Arrowhead. So I thought I might change the snowflakes part that's down here to like a super light blue. I pulled out these two. This one is, now that I'm holding it up, looks really green. So maybe not that one. Maybe this one. What is this? Snips and Snails. So I thought maybe I would use this blue down here to do the snowflakes, just so that you can actually see them. Or maybe I'll just pull like a DMC that is super pale blue. So TBD on that. But I'm loving working on this one. I think I'm gonna need a second skein of collards. It only calls for one, but so far I've used quite a lot just in these trees. But it's really, really pretty. And this fabric is fabulous to stitch on. So that is all my WIPs and my finishes of the last 2 weeks. So let's see, I thought I would go into, well, maybe I'll do haul first, because we got some haul, even though we just came back from a retreat. Okay, so a few months ago, sorry, crinkly. A few months ago, Color and Cotton opened up pre-orders for some of their fabrics. So I technically ordered these quite a while ago. So I got a cut of 36 count Dove from Color and Cotton. It's so pretty. This is the color that I will be restarting Halloween at Hollyberry Farm from Stacy Nash on too. I've got a cut of 40 count of this that I'll be starting it on, but ooh, it's so pretty. So I needed a piece of 36 count. Obviously I needed it, right? And then I got 2 cuts of Color and Cotton Harvest Wheat. I got one in 40 count and one in 36 count. This is what it looks like. So they're just the same. It's just a really, really pretty neutral. I love it. And then my Lakeside dealer went to her needlework shop, oops, and picked me up a cut of 36 count Lakeside Linens vintage navy bean. It's like a grayish, brown, white. I don't even know how you'd describe it. It does have a grayer tone though. Taupey tone. And also a cut of 36 count, what is this? Saltbush from Fox and Rabbit, which is called for in quite a lot of patterns recently, and it's kind of hard to find online. So that's what these two look like side by side. See, they're both gray toned. One is just much darker than the other. And then I pre-ordered the new With Thy Needles from Michelle, Farm Girl Dry Goods. And that is the Christmas Swan. Let It Snow. I love this. I love them all. I love those pine cones right there. And Peace and Goodwill. Sorry, glare. I love this one so much. And then I also, my chart that I pre-ordered from Stephanie Lindy Stitches came right after I got home from Stitch West. And it was the Plum Street's Real Comfort. I got that all kitted with the called for floss. I don't think I'll be starting it this year because now I'm kind of past this mood. Kind of over it. So maybe next year. But it's got all its threads. Okay, so let's go into my plans. Sorry. Plans. I'm going to start probably today, Joy and Good Cheer, because I do plan to start decorating for Christmas in a couple of weeks, and I want this done and ready to display in my spot that I've been keeping the others during their season. So I will be starting this. I've got all the called fors, stitching it on 32 count buttermilk from Live and Dye LA, just like the others, with 1 strand over 2 fabric threads. And then, oh gosh, I thought it'd be fun to show some projects that I've kitted recently that I would like to stitch this season. The first one is Peace and Goodwill. I've got some of the threads in there to start that. And then all of the threads for these I've got on the same ring because they call for a lot of overlapping colors. So Peace and Goodwill also has a couple colors on here that I'll be using for it. So I just put them all on the same ring. It's easier. I don't even put these in a project bag because I finish them before they can ever be put away. So one of the projects I'm definitely going to start here in the next couple of weeks is Merry Old Soul from With Thy Needle. These are all going to come flying off my lap. Merry Old Soul. I've got all the colors called for him, and I was thinking about stitching him on this 36 count, what is it, Cafe au Lait from Fiber on a Whim. Kind of a greenish brown color. Not greenish. Grayish. That's the color. That's the word I'm looking for. Grayish brown color. Because the called for color he's on is kind of purpley toned brown almost. So I'm thinking about this one. It's really hard to cut into a fat quarter. Like, it's really hard for me to cut into it. It almost feels like ruining it, but I know it's like, it's not ruining it, you're just using it, but it's hard. And then another project that I have got kitted is With Thy Needle, Rudolph and Friends. I have had this pattern for so long. It came out in 2021. I've probably had it since 2022. But he's so cute. And I'm thinking of stitching it on 36 count Lakeside Linens exemplar. Yes, do we think? Maybe. And then I know I've already shown it. I thought I pulled it out. Oh, something just snagged. I definitely want to start Winterberries and Pine. I have the owl fully kitted right now. Maybe they're all fully kitted. I think just the owl. But I don't have a fabric for this. I did get a cut of R&R Vintage Homespun that I think they could look really good on. I did not pull it though. I showed it in my last video though. So I'm thinking of that one for them, for all three of them, because I have a big enough piece they all three could go on it. And then I also kitted up Frosty's Night Out from Blackbird Designs. Look at how cute he is. And this is almost a full conversion. I think the only called, do I even have any? Yeah, the only called for I have is light khaki. All the others are subs, but it's fine. He's so small. It's so easy to just use what you have sometimes. And I think I will be stitching him. Oh my gosh, that's a full-on pin. I didn't realize that's a pin. I think I'll be stitching him on this piece of a 36 count Robin Eggs from E-Design. E-Design, not sure. But it's like this really kind of dirty, wintry blue. He's called for on murky, but I think the blue would look really nice. And I've got this giant piece of fabric, so why not? Maybe stitch him on a really brown corner right there. Oh, I just heard a rattling at my door. All my kids are home today. For some reason, there was no school today or yesterday, so they were all home. And I just heard a rattling at my door. So those are kind of my plans. Oh, it's the cat. It's the cat. I just heard claws on the door. Sidetracked. So those are kind of plans for starts I'd like to do in the next little bit. I did pre-order Rika, the House of Stitch and Stash. I did pre-order her exclusive, her winter exclusive. She showed a few sneak peeks on her Instagram of it. And she said that kits will start shipping the first week of December. So I do plan to start that when I get it, but I doubt it comes before my next video. So these are just some options of things I'm looking at starting soon. The wintry kind of Christmas stitching bug is coming in, but I'm trying to hang on to fall as long as possible. I'd like to get a little bit more progress on some of these other fall pieces I've got. I do really want to pull out Turkey Hollow Farm in the next 2 weeks and stitch on that for a few days. And the Gather In. I think there was another one, but now I can't remember. I'll keep I Love Fall Most of All out as soon as I figure out the pumpkin color. So, and I know that I already showed you Baby It's Cold Outside from Heartstring Sampler. I've still got my options of fabrics sitting out for that one. I think that is it. I do plan to post some bags this week. I've got some Christmas and winter themed bags ready to find homes. So I will show those on here. I'm going to post these on Thursday. So this is the first one. It's this really cute little vintage snowman. And the charms are little snowmen. The inside is these little candy canes. That's really cute. And the other one is this little Christmas wintry scene with the sheep and the snowy hills. Looks like the Cotswolds. And the inside is this ticker tape vintage candy cane look. Oh, and the charms are reindeer. And then this one is the little gingerbread dudes. The charm is snowflakes. And the inside is my favorite. It's tartan plaid. Beautiful. And then I've got this kind of vintage. I think I've said vintage 5,000 times. It's okay. We're gonna keep going. Reindeer North Pole look. The charm is a stocking. And the inside is this green floral. And then the last one, oh gosh, is this wintry scene, little red cottages. The charm is a Christmas tree. And the inside is this red paisley snowflake. So there's that one. And those are the bags that I'm going to be listing on Thursday. I list them on Instagram. If you would like one, just send me a message after I post them. And that's all my stitching. Oh, I forgot to write down my shows. Let's see if I can remember my shows. Okay, life. We're going to life now. It is very cold. The cold is here. The cold is here. It has snowed several times. The snow has not stuck though, thankfully. It just flutters down. But it's cold. I think today it's less than 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's really dark. It's really dark. I'm trying to see the positive in it and not let winter depression set in so soon, but it is hard. I have my house right now decorated for like fall Thanksgiving. I've never done that before, but I had enough fall and Thanksgiving decorations this year that I actually could. So I'll put some pictures of that at the beginning of this video of my current setup. Let's see. So last week was Halloween. We went to what was Halloween week at dance. Well, so, okay. Sorry. Back up more. My husband's grandfather on his mom's side passed away in his sleep. And so him and his mom and his siblings drove up to the Meridian, Boise area to have his viewing and his funeral. And they were pallbearers. And the funeral, I stayed home with the little kids, and the funeral I heard was really good, and I was glad that he was able to go. And while he was gone, I stayed home with the kids, and because it was Halloween week at dance, and the girlies really didn't want to miss, and it's just easier for him to go. They had one bed that he could stay in at a aunt's house, and so I stayed home and took the girls to Halloween week. They get to dress up, and the dance studio goes all out. The decorations in the studio are insane. Absolutely insane. They have this humongous like wooden handmade candelabra thing that they hang in the middle of the room. It's seriously massive. They have like the 15 foot, 12 foot, whatever how tall they are, skeletons. And I mean, there's just so much actual trees and stuff in there. It's insane. And it's just so cute every year. I've done it now probably 4 times because they do it every year. And they do a bunch of fun little activities and things. And so they had fun doing that. And then on Thursday was Halloween. So we got invited to my mother-in-law's house. She made dinner. She just does like soup and breadsticks or rolls and caramel apples and all kinds of yummy little snacks and treats. And so we went over there, and I think all of his siblings, well, all except one, most of his siblings were there with their significant others, and So we just hung out with all of them for Halloween, and we shut our house down dark. We do not get a lot of trick-or-treaters, which is really interesting because I live in the middle of a subdivision. Like, I live at the entrance of a subdivision, one of the bigger ones in town. And we do not, I think last year we got 15 trick-or-treaters. So I still hadn't bought any candy, and I was like, okay, we get like no trick-or-treaters anyways. Like, so my house is at the entrance, and it kind of goes around a curve, and then about 5 houses down, there's a cul-de-sac. So I think what happens is people come up and then they just go around the cul-de-sac and go back. And like, they don't come all the way up to my road and then back down because it's a one-way. So we just don't get very many. So we just shut the house down dark and went to her house and did Halloween things in her subdivision. It was her first Halloween at her new house with her husband, and we trick-or-treated in their neighborhood. And their neighborhood is huge too, and there was not very many people handing out candy. It was maybe every other house handing out candy, maybe less. So I thought that was really interesting. And their town is much bigger than ours. So, but they got plenty of candy. There's no shortage of candy in the house. I've eaten so many Reese's peanut butter cups, I'm gonna be sick. Does it stop me? No, I'm gonna keep eating them. I have to eat them until they're gone. That's just how it is. So, and it was freezing. It was so cold on Halloween. It started snowing for a minute. It was freezing cold. We didn't make it too long. It was me. The kids probably would have kept going, but I was like, nope, I'm done. So, but it was fun. We had a good time. And then, gosh, I don't think we did anything else. That was the biggest event. And then they had a school like costume parade. So we went to the school and watched them walk in the Halloween parade with their costumes on. I'll put a picture of what their costumes were. So my youngest was Snow White. My middle daughter was a witch, and her dress was really cute. It had lights in it and lit up. And my son was this creature called Catnap. I don't know. It's from this YouTube thing called Poppy's Playtime, and it's like scary critters. I don't know. He showed me what it was, and I was like, it looks like a big purple cat to me, but it made him really, really happy. So he was a big purple cat called Catnap. And then they had no school yesterday and today for unknown reasons. I'm not really sure. So we all got to go together to dance this morning for my youngest's class. And I don't know, she was really excited to go and have big brother and big sister watching. And then we got there and we had to leave because she was screaming and crying and clinging to me like she was about to be sent into the furnace. I tried sitting in the class with her, and it was too disruptive to the other girls, and she just wasn't having it. So we left, and we're going to try next week. I think it was just the pressure of having siblings watching maybe just was different, and she didn't like it. So hopefully next week we can get back into class because they're going to start learning their Christmas dance. Hopefully that's motivation for her. But that is all the life stuff. So I'll talk about my shows. Let's see. I gotta remember my shows. I can't really remember what I watched. Okay. I did watch a PBS show, a PBS Masterpiece show called Home Fires. I saw it advertised on Facebook. It wasn't a new show. So I was like, oh, that's good news. There should be a few seasons of it then. And there was 2 seasons of it. But if you didn't know, Prime does this really mean thing where when you click on a show to start watching it, it will just automatically play whatever is the newest season. And stupid me did not realize that it was playing the 2nd season. And I was like, got 4 episodes in, and I was like, what is... They kind of just really dove in, didn't they? Like, I didn't get any introduction to these people. What is this town they're in? And before I realized that I'm an idiot, and I've been watching season 2 this whole time. So I went back and watched season 1, and everything in season 2 made so much more sense. And so there's only 6 episodes per season, and I watched the last episode the other night, and it ended in such a horrible cliffhanger. So many different storylines with these huge, huge cliffhangers. And I was like, oh my gosh, when is season 3 coming out? Well, I went to Google it. And the show is canceled. So now I'm angry that I watched 2 seasons of this fantastic show and they leave me hanging like that for eternity. So I'm a little bitter. I'm a little bitter right now. The cast had a bunch of different characters from Downton Abbey. Like, they weren't characters from Downton Abbey, but people who played characters in Downton Abbey. One of the main characters was Violet Bridgerton from the Bridgerton show. And there's someone else and I just lost it. But like crossover characters from other shows, actors. And it was so good. It was about the beginning, or I don't know if it was the beginning or a few years in of the World War II. It was about this little village called Paxton outside of Liverpool. So it's kind of following the World War II. It was 1940, so not when the U.S. had joined yet. And so it's kind of following this little village and how they are dealing with their men and boys going off to war, how the women kind of took over this village, and the women were running things and keeping everything going. And it was so good. And I'm really, really upset. I'm really upset that it got canceled. So if you want to be disappointed, watch a good show for 2 seasons and that's it. But it was very good otherwise. And then we watched a movie called Trap on HBO with Josh Hartnett. And it was really pushed on HBO. So we're like, well, we'll watch it, you know. It's like a thriller. It's basically about a guy who brings his daughter to a concert. It's an M. Night Shyamalan, so it's kind of that vibe. Brings his daughter to a concert and then later finds out the concert was a fake. It's designed to catch a serial killer. And this guy is the serial killer. So it's basically the whole movie is him trying to figure out how to escape this concert without being caught, because this concert was designed to trap him. Cool premise of a show, I think. And it had some like decent moments. I thought Josh Hartnett did a fabulous job being a really kind of creepy and off dude. But some of the things that happened were just so ridiculous. Like, so ridiculous. Like, is this a dream? Like, you know when you have a dream and the most ridiculous things keep happening, but in your dream you're like, this makes sense. And then you think about it and you wake up and you're like, no. That was like how this movie was. It was so strange. So if you want to watch a strange movie, M. Night Shyamalan, there you go. I watched an HBO documentary called Menendez, about the Menendez brothers. It was just like so I watched the one on Netflix, the dramatization of it. So this was more of like just a walkthrough with the attorneys and some like media and people, and talking about how because of that show, their case has been brought back to front and center, and they're actually probably going to get a resentencing, which I find very interesting. There was a show I wanted to tell you all about, and now I can't remember because I did not check my notes before we started here. Shoot. We finished Love is Blind. What a dumpster fire, you guys. Dumpster fire. Who's vetting these people on this show? They need to just stop. They need to just stop. There's a new season of Great British Baking Show I plan to watch. I need to watch it. I think it's done. So now I can watch it and watch all of it. I know I watched another movie, but I can't think of what it is. Sorry, my shows are kind of lame. Peaky Blinders is filming a new movie right now, and I keep getting stills from the filming, from the set. Barry Keoghan is playing, I thought I just heard my name. Barry Keoghan is playing Charlie Shelby, Tommy's son. I'm getting a knock. Okay, we had a crisis, everybody. They couldn't get the Tootsie Rolls opened. on a positive note, it like made it so I could go look at my notes again to remember the other shows I watched. Okay, I watched another movie called Woman of the Hour. It is a thriller, like a true crime thriller, directed by Anna Kendrick. And it was about serial killer Rodney Alcala in the 70s. He was caught in 1979. The way he was caught was really crazy. I don't want to give too much away because it was a good movie. Basically, the serial killer guy was posing as a photographer to lure women and girls alone, and then he would kill them. He was actually on an extremely popular dating show in the 70s. The one where it's like Bachelor 1, 2, and 3, and they're all hidden. The girl asks questions and then chooses the end. The dating game or something like that. He was on that show and he won. He was chosen by this girl. And in the movie, I'm not sure about real life, but in the movie, he was going to kidnap her, but she was saved by some guys that were just walking out of a building, and he obviously couldn't take her in front of people. He was caught because he let one of his victims live, and she got away from him at a gas station, and he was caught finally. He was only convicted of 7 of the murders, I think, but it's estimated that he had taken upwards of 130 lives before he was captured. And the worst part is that he was reported many, 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 many times over the span of 10 years by many different women. I think a few different men. He was reported many times and never investigated. So for 10 years, for 10 years, he was being reported and not being investigated, which is the most horrific part about all of it. So that is a good movie. I do recommend going to watch that one. And then the other movie I watched was We Were Soldiers. In November, I like to watch war movies. It's Veterans Day is coming up. It's just a movie I like, or a month I like to watch a lot of my patriotic movies. Which, by the way, it's election day today. I hope you have gone to exercise your right to vote. I don't have my sticker. My daughter just stole my sticker. But vote, people. Go vote. So anyways, it was called We Were Soldiers. It starred Mel Gibson, Greg Kinnear, and John Hamm was in it, and a couple other people. I can't remember their names. But it was filmed in 2002. And I was like, how have we never watched this? I feel like we watched so many movies from 2001, 2002, 2000. That's our favorite, 1995 to 2003. That's our favorite time period of movies. And we watched tons of war movies. Like, how have we never watched this? So we watched it. It was about, it was during the Vietnam War, which I don't know a lot about the Vietnam War, other than it was a highly protested war, and that we went to war to prevent communism from spreading to other countries. That's all I really know about it. But this movie was really good. It basically just followed a group of soldiers in Vietnam that was in they call it the Valley of the Shadow of Death, or the Valley of Death battle. It was really, really good. Over 2 hours, but I loved it. I couldn't believe I'd never seen it before. So I do recommend that one if you'd never seen that one. And that is all the shows that I had written down to talk about. I hope that, the cat just came in. Maybe I can get him so you can see. Come here. Come here, you wanna be on camera? Come here. You wanna see the people? This is my big boy. His name is Meowski. Say hi to the people. He's my lover cat. He likes to be held like a baby and snuggled and kissed 100,000 times on his head. Your little baby boy? Yeah. Ugh. There he is. There's Meows. Well, I hope you get all the stitching time that you desire in these next few weeks. And I hope it's warm where you are. And I will see you in a few weeks on my next video.